All right, man. I'm back. So, the last time I told y'all that I spent 10 bands just on pretty much education. You know what I mean? To get started with this Airbnb journey. Told y'all that I was thinking about it for a long time. But this is the year of doing. And I told y'all that. I told y'all that in, last couple of videos. Like, this is just a year of doing. And it really is. And so, lots of what I've been doing so far this year, like, I've pretty much kept a secret. Like, I haven't really told nobody about it. I haven't told any friends. I've told a few of my family members, but that's about it. And one of the main reasons is because, like, I just don't want anybody else's opinions involved right now. I just want to go ahead and do the action, put the work in without anybody else really saying what I should do or what I shouldn't do. And so, yeah, pretty much everything has been, I wouldn't say secret, but it's just, I just haven't been telling people what my plans are this year or what I've been up to. But, yeah, they'll know eventually. And so, even, like, how much money I spent so far to get things started, some of the actions I've taken to get things started, me actually getting my LLC, like, I didn't even really tell my parents, you know? And so this last week, I told them basically what the plan was. So I had a PowerPoint that I had made probably like my senior year of college, and I sort of added on to that. And I basically wrote down like the whole business model, the whole plan. And I included resources of like, the profit calculator that I'm using, resources of how I'm gonna do the actual research on the properties, how much money I've spent so far, how much money I'm projecting to make. And so it actually went pretty good. And I think one of the reasons why it went good was just that I actually had a plan that they can actually see and that I've gone through before and that I could articulate well. And I don't know if you guys know this. I may have mentioned it. I don't know. But I had 2 businesses before already when I was younger. The first one was a clothing brand. And I was selling shirts in high school. Pretty much, probably like half the people in my graduating class had a shirt for me. So lots of people was buying merch for me. Also, I had lunch ladies buying the merch. I had custodians buying the merch, So that was really my first business venture. And the whole reason why I started that was really because I was just in a place where, like, I couldn't play sports or nothing. I found out that I had high blood pressure. They were doing all this testing on me to try to figure out what it was. And so for that period of time, like, they told me I couldn't play sports. And they told me, yeah, basically I had to sit out of everything for that moment. And so I had a friend that was making shirts, and really that it just started out as an idea and it became a way to express myself during that moment. And so that was really my first business. Long story short, one, I had no idea what I was doing at the time. So it was like I was making shirts, but I wasn't making them at a high volume. And if y'all have bought things in bulk, you know that the more you buy, the less it costs for you to make. And one, it was costing me too much to make, and so my profit wasn't that much on each shirt. Two, I was the only one pretty much doing it. And so I didn't really have anybody else around me that I knew who was doing what I was doing. And so it was sort of just me making the shirts, selling them, trying to put it back into the business, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I would also say, like, I didn't have enough resources, and I didn't, like, it started becoming like it wasn't a passion for me anymore. Like, it was a good idea at first, but then when I started thinking, like, okay, now what am I going to do next? How am I going to make the next design? Like, I didn't know how to do that myself. And so it sort of just died out on its own. Well, I killed it once I went to college. And nothing was set up, like, properly at all. Like, I didn't have any LLC or anything. Like, the only thing that I did have was I got I got the trademark for the logo, but that was it. I didn't have the business really set up. I was saying I was a sole proprietor. And so, yeah, that was the first business. But like I said, it was like, I kind of just went off feeling. I had a friend helping me, but we didn't know what we were doing. And there was really no plan in place to move forward. And so that was that. I brought it back a little bit in college. I did a fashion show, but it was hard for me to sell it around campus. One, I was probably a little bit nervous to sell things to new people at campus that had no idea who my brand was, what it was, who I was. It was freshman year in college. Two, it was like, how was I gonna keep it up? Like, I had no resources at college. Like, I ended up bringing some shirts back on one of my breaks, and I sold a couple to my friends, but like, I had nowhere to make the shirts or anything. But I would say the biggest setback there was, like, really just the lack of confidence in actually going out and selling. And I feel like that's a big struggle with people who have clothing brands, or really any business that you have to sell to consumers. Is like, you have to sell it sometimes. If people don't know who you are, if people don't know your brand, like, you have to make them know. They're not just gonna start buying your brand unless it's really that fire. And nowadays, it's like, it's so many clothing brands. Like, if you sitting outside with a table, what, nine out of 10 people are just gonna walk past you, and then 10 out of 10 people will say that it costs too much, even though they out at somebody else's store paying twice as much than what you selling for. So that's a big that's a big thing. Like, just building up that confidence to be able to actually build a business or sell your product. So that was the first one. The second one was day trading. So for a while, I had a funded account. I started out, I got a $20,000 account. I made enough profit to where I scaled it up to $26,000. And then I hit a losing streak. I went past the limit that I could go past to lose, and I lost the whole account. And so the good thing with that is, like, I can always get another account. I can get another account. Really, the cost to do the challenge is like $500 to get $100,000 account if you pass all the challenges and pass the criteria. And so, like, the startup cost did not cost a lot. The problem with trading is that you got to know what you're doing. and it's very, very lucrative. So you might go on a winning streak for however many months. Next few months you're on a losing streak. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but it's hard to be consistent in trading. And I was for a little while, but it just seems like I just can't get back to it. And yeah, I mean, there's also some dumb rules and regulations going on with the foreign exchange industry, which is the industry in which I was trading in. I wasn't doing futures or stocks, and so I could try futures, but I don't know, when you were somebody that was like learning something for so long and kind of like one of the first people doing it, I just don't really want to switch to anything new. So maybe in due time I'll be able to get another account, but I don't know. We'll see. But really, the point of why I told you guys that was I feel like I learned something from each of those trial and errors, and I see a lot of like entrepreneurs that get interviewed, and like the main thing they did was they kept trying, they kept going, they kept trying, and a lot of times it wasn't even the first business that they tried to start that did well. And so in my head, I've always had like for the past couple of years I've been saying I want to day trade. Once I make enough profit with that, I want to start Airbnb, and then once I'm all set, then maybe I want to go to the studio. And not on like, I don't necessarily want to be a rapper. I just think that I'm good at writing. And yeah, I mean, if you go on my Instagram and you see some of my rap videos, like I'm actually kind of good at it. But that was always the order that I had in my head and the plan that I wanted things to happen in. And it just hasn't gone like that. I've just realized, like, just from, trying to do different businesses before, it's like, lots of it is just really just being confident. It's just being confident to go ahead and do it. And just because you have something planned out of how it's going to go, it's not always going to go that way. So sometimes you got to pivot. Sometimes you may have to start something before you start something else. You may make money from this, but the next year you got to make more money from this. And you got to be able to adjust. And so I think I'm just at the point right now where it's like I have the confidence now to get things done. I have the resources now to get things done. I have the credit. And so it's really just about doing. And honestly, the last year was not easy for me. And so the things that I've gone through in the last couple of years, and even just my whole life in general, if I really think about it, it's like it's led me to a point where I really don't care in a good way, I guess you could say. Like, if I was to fail and mess up, if I was to lose however much money that I've put into this, I wouldn't care. I honestly wouldn't. It may stress me out, but I'm at a point where it's like what I've gone through is like, I don't know. I guess what I've gone through has made me realize that a lot of things don't matter, and I have to try to get what I want. So what matters to me is just the relationships that I've built, family, friends, being able to do things on your own time, relationship with God. And so if I try something and I fail, I'll be okay with it. I mean, yeah. So that's just where I'm at. I wanted to give y'all an update. And I need to get to 150 subscribers. So if y'all like the video, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I noticed like my last few videos, the views have been slightly going up just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. But yeah, man, if y'all like this video, like and subscribe. And I'm gonna just continue to record this whole journey this year. So who knows, man, maybe in like 8 to 9 months, man, maybe I'll be able to show y'all some good numbers, or who knows, maybe I'll have my own cameraman by then and y'all can see my day-to-day. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all right now. I'm gonna see y'all later. Hasta luego. Ciao.